Welcome to episode 20 of the second series of My Vain Let's Play. Today it's craft, and loot. Before we get stuck in, here's a 60-second roundup of what happened last time. Last episode we started off at the lumber mill, with one challenge to kick things off: make it home. Of course, this wasn't just a typical drive home though, this was driving a mail truck home that was loaded with a charcoal kiln and sawmill. After a stressful drive, I made it back, loot intact, before coming to an immediate realisation. I needed limestone to stop the kiln from degrading. I drove back out and headed for Isaac & Son's construction yard, as I knew they'd be able to get limestone from the skips and concrete pipes in the yard. Having procured the goods, I then took out a zombie, and then stole a couple of plastic barrels before heading back home, and it was time to place the sawmill and kiln, before putting the sawmill to good use, creating a crafting bench, and getting my craft on so that we can start thinking about base fortifications. And that is where we're going to pick up from today. Here we are, episode 20. 20, and oh gosh, these walls are all looking a little bit grim. Now we've got to have the fun little multitasking dance now, as I try and multitask, and probably fail miserably, whilst I try and ensure that the food that we're cooking doesn't get burnt, which it shouldn't do, given how slowly it's going up. The stuff that we're crafting continues to craft, and I can also read out some of your lovely comments. Thank you all very much for your comments. There was a couple of key themes that we sort of raised in the last episode. One of them being medical, and there is loads of good stuff around medical. The other thing that I was intrigued by, which came up sort of randomly, if you will, was around GPS. And I have been educated. So, first and foremost, thank you very much to SBR Racing Pop, who said GPS would work for a little while, but without having their orbit increased every so often, the sats would come down. Which, fascinating. I didn't know. I don't know much about space, if I'm being honest with you. It's not an area that I've always been fascinated by, but have never really done an awful lot of research into. So very, very interesting. I also liked the comment that you left, the 27 Club, where you said you mentioned the sat-nav and the GPS, and that you would like the option of a mini-map on screen, which you could make it so that you have to have the GPS for it to work and not just a cell phone. Interesting idea. Yeah, and I don't know. It's a funny one for me when it comes to mini-maps in games. Because sometimes I'm like, yes, I think that works really well. Like Grand Theft Auto, just as a title to throw out there. I don't mind having a mini-map for a game like that. But then in my zombie survival games, I am a little bit, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's a bit like Project Zomboid. When I play Project Zomboid, I don't typically like having the mini-map on screen. I play without. And in a game like this, I don't particularly like it. One game where I think they did it quite well was Sons of the Forest. I don't know if anyone's played that. But if you got into a golf cart, for argument's sake, or if you held your GPS in your hand, you had the minimap basically on screen. And that felt like quite a cool way of doing it. So it wasn't like on screen as if it was part of your heads-up display. It was just on screen as part of a screen in a vehicle, or as part of a screen of a GPS in your hand, which I thought was quite a neat way of doing it. So maybe if they integrated something like that, that would be quite cool. But thank you, the 27 Club, for your comment. The other thing, as I'm still almost failing to multitask, was that, and this is where I am so out of my depth, but this is why I'm so relieved for you lovely lot in the comments. X-Song Blossom, who commented, and first of all, thank you, X-Song Blossom. I can see that you've gone through and started watching some of the back catalogue and some of the older episodes that I've done in the older series with Bosun and going back to Atom. So thank you very much for that. Really do appreciate the support. but your comment, and you had a discussion with a physicist friend and did the maths. And so according to your comment, satellites wouldn't fall, but the navigation would break within 24 hours because of relativity. So without ground control uploading daily time corrections, the system would fall apart. Satellites moving so fast, atomic clocks tick 7 microseconds slower than our clocks, and because they're further from the Earth's gravity, they would tick 45 microseconds faster, thus meaning that there'd be a drift every single day, and that because GPS calculates location using the speed of light, that tiny time difference would translate to the map being off by 7 miles or 11 kilometers per day. So by day 2 of the apocalypse, the sat-nav would put me in the wrong town and would be completely useless. That is incredible knowledge. And that's really awesome to read. So maybe I don't want GPS. Maybe I don't want sat-nav. Maybe I should have to continue making it through without the likes of sat-nav and GPS. I don't know. It's changed. It might have changed my mind. It might well have changed my mind. Right, we need iron scrap. We really do need iron scrap. So let's quickly check my stove again and make sure that I'm not going to burn my meat. Very close call. Iron scrap. This is going to be known as the juggling episode, isn't it? Right. Yeah, fascinating. Absolutely fascinating stuff around the GPS. Absolutely incredible. Right, let's have a look for iron scrap. We might have to start breaking up some of the many tools that we've started collecting, to be fair. Got some iron scrap there, which will be a help. I will check the back of this, but I'm not really expecting us to have as much in this, but we have got some. That is helpful. So yes, the GPS stuff I found super, super fascinating. I also appreciate I am lagging a little bit behind at the moment in terms of replying to comments. So please do bear with me. I am still trying to reply to every single comment I get. Just as a way of saying thank you to all you lovely people. Don't know if it's something that I'll be able to maintain forever, but it's something I'll try and maintain whilst I can. Yeah, the support you guys show is absolutely insane, and I really, really do appreciate it. Also, to call out a couple of people, KMag33. Yes, that is exactly the sort of thing that I do, where I drive by and ignore the cemetery in my search for raw limestone. Yes, I did. I also like the response to that comment from Loki the Weaver, saying that Charm is a conspiracy theorist and has watched the original training video on zombie attacks. So, undead or living dead, the common denominator is dead. So where do we find dead people? Let's stay away from the graveyards, was basically the summation. And I really like that. And obviously, that was exactly what was going through my mind at that point in time. The other thing that I saw, which again was from X-Song Blossom in a separate comment, was the fact that I saw raw and another form of limestone and left it, which is absolutely spot on. I've not been collecting limestone or limestone powder because of the fact I didn't think that I was going to need it anytime soon, because typically to make fortifications out of limestone takes quite a lot of stuff. And I also know that we can go to the mines and we can go to skips and things like that, like I did last episode, to get some. So yes, that is the sort of thing that I do leave behind, but it is quite funny to look at. Tarsis as well, thank you so much for your support. And yeah, you also said in terms of GPS that after 6 months of no ground-based location signals, due to the power failures on Earth, GPS would be off by around 1 kilometer. So within a year of major power loss, it would essentially be useless. So maybe this is the summary that we've come to, is that maybe we don't want GPS as it is in the world today in vain, and maybe we do need to continue doing this sort of manual navigation. Loki the Weaver also replied to that comment and said that you too would like to see a more immersive map and compass navigation system. And to be honest, after all of your comments around GPS, I can't disagree. On the medical stuff as well, that kicked off quite a debate. And as I say, I'll go back and make sure that I reply to all of your comments. So thank you so much. I'll mention just a couple. in terms of the fact that TJ Boylan 20 said for the medical system you'd like major injuries like broken bones to be sore for your character for a few in-game weeks, which would make it more realistic. And I think I agree. I would like to see injuries be a little bit more punishing. If I decide to fall off a roof or jump off a roof or fail at getting down a ladder, as is more realistic for me, then maybe I should be punished with a bit of a broken leg that impacts me for a while. It's an interesting one, isn't it? And maybe it is something that should tailor based on the difficulty setting that you set before you jump into the game. Not too sure. But an interesting one nonetheless. It's one of those things that I don't think devs can necessarily get right. Because everyone will have an opinion on it, and everyone will probably want a slightly different thing. Let's do a bit of inventory sorting out here as well. And by inventory sorting out, I mean dumping it all into the fridge. Why wouldn't I? There we go. Another one on medical is TPeel6309. Don't mind the medical stuff except for when you get sick, because the cold medicine is all putrid. Tend to agree with you. Putrid does seem to be the way to go for the cold medicine. I thought, and I could be wrong here, and maybe I do need to do some more up-to-date testing, but I absolutely did think that soup that you made would actually positively affect you if you had soup whilst being ill. I did think that would help you out. Could be wrong. And let me know down in the comments if I am wrong, but I thought that was one of the benefits of it. Gosh, we're really going to need to sort out some storage soon. We're really going to need to prioritise storage, because it is a little bit of a mess. Iron scrap. There we go. But thank you very much for your comments. And then the final comment I'll call out this week is from Live and Be Young. Because of the sunset that we arrived back to at base being really pretty in the last episode. And that is the thing that occasionally catches me off guard about Vane, is just how pretty it can be. The devs, I think, have done a really good job of making a game which is realistic and is graphically quite pretty. Obviously, there's going to be improvements in terms of player character models and zombie models as well. But also, yeah, you have things like your sunsets, and yeah, it's sometimes you can get lost in games like this. But thank you all so much for your comments, and thank you all so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. I started this channel 9 months or so ago. I've just gone past the 5,000 subscriber mark at this point in time, and genuinely the support from all of you, especially the people, and maybe I shouldn't be segregating my audience, but especially the people who tune into my Let's Plays, which is typically some of the rawer gameplay stuff, less editing, and maybe is a little bit more of me unchained and maybe slightly unhinged. I really do appreciate every single one of you who tunes in, supports me, watches, and comments. So thank you all so much. Really do appreciate it. Right, this episode. So, we're doing a good job of multitasking, which is one thing. The thing that we need to think about, really, is starting to get enough stuff together for storage. So, for us to build some storage, and the reason why I'm so keen for storage is because then I can get on and do some of that awful Apocalypse admin between episodes, so that you guys don't have to sit and watch me do Apocalypse admin. I don't think anybody wants to see that. You will get absolutely mindlessly frustrated by the way in which I store things, probably. So there is that to consider. For our crates, we need nails and we need wood scraps. Okay, so we don't even really need to be constructing anything for that. So maybe we can get on and actually start creating that. We've got loads of nails, I'm sure. The things that we're going to need to build in terms of fortifications to start off with are going to be doors and windows. And then what we'll do is we'll move on to the outside and fences and things like that. I'm not as stressed about fences at the moment, I would like to get the house fortified to start off with. That feels like a sensible start. The other thing that we need to check, because courtesy of No Name, who I saw on Reddit, there is currently a bit of an issue, I understand, a little bit of a bug in game around the UC and the radius potentially resetting. So let's just do a quick courtesy check of the radius. Actually, we don't even need to go into the dev tools for that. Let's try and build a thing. Have I got anything on me that I could build? Probably not. UC, can I build a UC? No, I've not got any wood scrap on me. So what we'll do is we'll just make sure that the radius has stayed as we were expecting it to. Otherwise, we are going to be, well, a little bit disappointed. I think that's fair to say. Let's do a little bit of dismantling of these. And there we go, we'll get some wood scrap that way. I know I'm dismantling wooden planks. Awful, awful behaviour from me. So let's just do a quick check of that if we do that. Okay, no, that's fine. That range has not seemingly reset. We've got 19 hours until we start to decay at the moment. We're all set in terms of the utility cabinet. What we do need to start thinking about is storage. Now, do I start using that garage over there or that garage over there for my main storage, or do I use the house? Because the house is quite sizable as it is. Oh gosh, go and check the stove, go and check the stove, go and check the stove. So we could absolutely be utilising it. That's absolutely fine. We've got time. And there's things like this room in here, which, you know, I suppose the concern is that zombies can, at the moment, get through the walls to attack things. So maybe we do need to turn down here into our storage area. So let's do some destroying, and then we'll have the basement as our main sort of storage location, I think, which will help us out, and then we can start building some storage shelves in here, and then I can get on with some of that miserable apocalypse admin in between episodes. Oh, I'm hopping up and down still. Right, okay, let's go and check on... Let's go and check on our stove again. I'm failing so miserably at this, but, well, look, okay, it's not burnt. That is the main thing. So, yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go down here, we'll destroy as much as we can in the name of then being able to build. Oh, we'll investigate that first, though. There we go. Thank you very much. The other thing we need to start thinking about, whilst our crafting capability is not there yet, but is absolutely a thing that we need to be thinking about, is makeshift battery. So our construction level's not high enough, and our mechanical level isn't high enough either. But I am a little bit concerned at the fact that we have to go loud. So the generator has to be on for us to be running our stove, for example, which needs... Oh, it doesn't... Does it show me how much it needs? Not on that screen. It needs 200 watts of electricity to be operating, which I'd have thought, to be honest, the solar panel should be able to create 200 watts, surely. Oh no, it's a 1,100. So at the moment we are having to go loud, which makes me nervous. Because big bass, loads of noise, typically means one thing, and it starts with H, and it's scary. So, yeah, so we might want to put a little bit of thought into that, and it might well be that actually, whilst we're thinking about things like storage and we can level up that way, we might want to give some consideration to getting ready for those batteries. Now, we have already got some storage here, to be fair, haven't we? So let's start moving these storage totes. And maybe we can start to repurpose those. I could have some... do you know what? I could have a colour coding system, couldn't I? Could you imagine? I could start using the tool chest as a tool chest as well. So rather than having to build things from scratch all the time, maybe I could use a little bit of what we've already got. Some stuff less useful than others. Paint cans. Yeah, okay. So this isn't overly helpful in terms of scraps. stuff, which is fine. Not everything can be. But yeah, maybe we can start using the totes. Oh, I feel like I'm having to constantly be popping upstairs just to try and keep an eye on my meat as it cooks. That one has got to be burnt. Yeah, that is burnt. Oh. Failing at multitasking. None of us can be surprised at that. So yeah, we'll clear this basement out, I think, and then we'll make it so that we can have a load of storage. Maybe what we'll do is we'll use these totes for scraps. That feels like that makes a lot of sense. We use the totes for scraps. One thing that we're going to need to store quite a lot of is weapons as well. We've got quite a lot of weapons that are going to need to be stored. Just seeing how many of those are in the boot of a car, which is quite insane, the amount of weapons that we've managed to pick up, and ammo. Sweater vest, of course. You never know when you might need a sweater vest. But yeah, we can start using these for scraps, I think. Which makes loads of sense. Is it unpacked? Is unpacked the game where you basically just move things around and place them and settle your OCD? That sort of feels a little bit like what I'm doing at the moment. Photo frame, it's a parrot. We've got to have that. There we go. That'll keep us motivated when we're doing our crafting. Yes, that is awesome. And some sunscreen. Well, we're not going to need that anytime soon, given the weather, but again, there we go. Right. That is going to make me cross as well, the fact that that tote is a different colour to the ones underneath it. But we are where we are. Cell phone is also dead. That was good timing, wasn't it? Cell phone's out of power. Have we got batteries on us? No. Right, let's turn this off. There we go. That is off now. And let's go and turn our generator off because we don't like how loud it is. Do we get more solar panels? Do we just go and get more solar panels? Because we are quite a way off getting our ability to do the sort of big batteries anyway for our storage. No idea what the time is either. So let's get some batteries. Oh, we've got some skill points to use as well. Awesome. Right, batteries. Let's do that. I know it's out of power. I'm aware. Insert battery. There we go. Right. Okay. Gosh, it's only 4:30 in the afternoon. Do we go and get some solar panels? It's tempting. Don't like the amount of noise that's required to use the generator. I really don't like the amount of noise that's required to use the generator. If we took, I wonder, I mean, if we took the mail truck, how many do you reckon we could fit on that? A couple, maybe 3 at an absolute push? 3 solar panels on this? Don't think we're going to be able to fit many on the RV because of the amount of stuff that's on top of it. And also the RV is not very easy to get back into our little compound here, as we found out previously. So, if we're going to do it, we'd take the mail truck and we'd go and do it. And it feels like, because yeah, we've got the campgrounds and there's a few solar panels around the campgrounds, but the other likely contender is always going to be Saranac. I've forgotten the name of the place, but the park in Saranac, where there is usually a good number of them available. Might be worth a thought. Right, what we're going to do, though, is, whilst we're thinking about that, and thinking about potentially going and doing that, let's have a look and see if we've got anything for dismantling in terms of our books? Because if we have, I mean, let's do the sensible thing and put all of these away whilst we're here. But if we had something that was around skilling up our ability to dismantle, then I would be inclined to go and dismantle everything that's in that garage, for example. That feels like it would be a good use of time. And to level that up. Scavenging. Got so many scavenging magazines. It's absolutely crazy. I don't think we're going to have anything in here. But I will check. Nope, nothing in there. And we'll check this. Is there a quicker way for me to access the inventory, or do I always have to get into it? Looks as though I've always got to get into it, which is fine. No. No. Got some other stuff in there. Just in case we want to have a good time. I've got a funny feeling that we started putting our books away. We did. Look at that. I can be organised sometimes. Have we got anything for dismantling? That's for throwing. Electrical. Sociability. Repair. Cooking. Sneaking. Mechanical. Resilience. Stockpile. Crafting. Weapon handling. Construction. No, nothing for dismantling. Okay, well, let's hold off on the dismantling then. Right, let's go up to bed. Let's go to sleep. And then I know that I'm supposed to be getting everything ready for the base. I know that. I get that, right? But equally, getting more solar panels feels like it's important for the base. So I think we should go and do that. I'm hungry. I am thirsty. We can drink out of the jerry can. Because we know that that's got... Oh, we didn't mean to do that. We know that that has got some good stuff. I'm going to eat the burnt deer meat. Oh, that was crunchy. Let's put our trousers back on, Charm. And let's make sure that we are at least dressed. Nope, that doesn't make us look very dressed. We've got firefighter pants on, haven't we? Interesting. Upper. Sweater vest is on. Jeans. Okay, yeah, no. We are wearing something even if it doesn't show it. Right, and we have got construction that we can get a perk for as well whilst we're here. Sort of feels like we either go for reinforced wood being 25% less or increasing the skill by 25%. I think given the fact that we need it, let's go for muscle memory. I don't always like going for muscle memory. It feels like a little bit of a boring perk to go for, doesn't it? But sometimes it is necessary. Do we have water in these? Oh, wow. That's not water. That's toilet water. Let's put toilet water there. And let's put the unchecked, unsure if it is water, there. Another thing we'll need to think about is rain collectors. But if it's just going to be snowing all the time, then, you know, I don't know if that's going to be a hugely worthwhile thing to spend our time and resources on. Right, let's see how quickly we can get across to Saranac. To get ourselves some more solar panels so that we can stop being so loud when we do some cooking. Then, I think the plan would be to build some storage. Because we know that we can build storage. We know that we've not got any crazy resource requirements for storage. I'm making sure that I'm slowing down in plenty of time here because winter roads and all of that jazz. Now, controversially, there's not much point in leaving these gates closed, given how much of our base is actually within them. So I think we leave them open, especially when we're popping out. Oh, hello, friend. And then we will head towards Saranac, which is basically down this road, get to a T-junction, hopefully, and then turn left. And that should be the main road to Saranac, I hope. That is the theory. Quad bike there, which could be very, very handy. Okay, keep on following this road for a good chunk of time yet. The sun will be coming up shortly. I'm sort of intrigued to see what happens with the weather system, because the fact that it suddenly becomes snowy and then suddenly becomes not snowy can be a little immersion breaking at times, can't it? But then I suppose you're into the realms of like dynamic weather and snow settling and all of that sort of stuff, or at least the illusion of that happening, which could be quite a resource-heavy thing to compute. I say with very, very little game creation experience or coding experience. So I'll let the people who are a lot more informed comment on that. Right, let's head left and get ourselves to Saranac so that we can get at least a couple of solar panels. I mean, ideally we'll come back with 3. That then feels like that'll be enough to power us at least during the day. And I know that if we want to cook at night, for example, we're going to have to do it. But that, I think for me, that then just means that we don't cook at night. Cooking at night will provide us very, very little value. Not much point. Yes, it's fine because we're typically going to be at home, but yeah. And here we go, talking about the beautiful moments in the game. Sunrise as we drive into it, mixed with the zombies, we try and avoid them. We have got the sunrise cracking through the trees on our way to Saranac. Beautiful. beautiful. How are we doing? Yeah, we'll be there in no time. And we've lost the sun because the trees got too thick, or it's got too high already. And the snow is starting to melt on the roads, which is, generally speaking, good news, I think. I have got to remember that I'm driving a vehicle that does not have winter tyres. Which, when you're at this sort of stage of the game and it's sporadically snowing on the road and sporadically icy on the road, and is almost a little bit more difficult to manage. Because if it's always icy and snowy, you kind of get used to it, right? You kind of get used to your braking distances and all of that, whereas I don't have the opportunity to. A couple of gas stations as well that we've gone past on the way. And obviously we've gone past the used car place as well, which would be very, very handy when we do need to get some batteries for our makeshift batteries. And then we should soon have the turning and should be able to hopefully get some solar. I believe it is down here, if my memory is not playing tricks on me. Is it Bowen Hill Park, or have I made that up? There it is. It's there anyway. Yeah, here we are. Bowen Hill Park, there you go. And the memories come flooding back. Can't remember, was it episode 1 of Bosun maybe? Might have been episode 1 of Atom. That's how far back we're going here. The amount of panels that we've got there that we can take is impressive. So, Let's see how many we can fit. I'd imagine it's going to be 2 at least. Oh, we've got Sprinter to take care of first. Oh my god, I thought I'd swung and thought it was a swing and a miss. Nope, it's not a swing and a miss. We have got him. Right, let's shift this solar panel. And let's try and place this as far back as we possibly can. Like so. Oh, I wonder if we can move it back a little bit further, you know. I mean, technically speaking, yes. Let's ignore the fact that that is now floating in midair. We are very exerted, so catch our breath, breathe. Have a little poke inside the buildings, I suppose, whilst we're here. Practice our lockpicking. Oh, some 12 gauge. Absolutely fine. Take that. Do a little bit of destroying whilst we're here for some screws. Yep, absolutely. We will take that. No seeds. No seeds. Anything in here? Soda can. Nice. That's helpful. Antidepressants and a bandage. Yeah, heavy bolts. Not getting an awful lot of usefulness from these. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right, back to what we came for. Solar panels. Silent energy. 1, 2. This could be a bit of a push, couldn't it, to get 3? Could absolutely be a bit of a push. I'm going to try. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Zombies wandering around. This beautiful, beautiful winter's morning. Oh, whilst we're here, we might find more baseball bats, actually. Oh my god, that sounded like they're in here. They aren't. Boxing helmet. Yeah, it's not that good. Bandage. Oh, we'll take a circular saw. Absolutely, whilst I'm here. You know, this is free loot, basically. Unexpected loot, which is the best kind. Really do need to improve their security, don't they, here? Oh, drill and a battery. Yeah, we'll take those. Thank you very much. Very useful. Now, another solar panel, anyone? Yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. That looks as if it works. I think. Does that work? I would say that that works. Three solar panels secured. Silent energy throughout the daytime. Hopefully enough to keep a stove going. Which would be very, very good for us, I think. And there's loads more where that came from. So if we wanted to turn the runway, or at least a section of the runway, because my god, I don't think there's that many solar panels in the game to fill the whole thing. We wanted to turn the runway, or a section of the runway, into a solar farm. Maybe the bit alongside the runway into a solar farm. That would be pretty sick. I think that'd be pretty cool. That is absolutely outstanding, isn't it? Look at us go. It looks like we're powered by the sun. And maybe we are in some ways, hey? Maybe we are. beautiful day. Now that the snow's cleared up and I'm able to drive at a reasonable pace. Beautiful bar and grill over there as well. I do love the bar and grill. And we also get to go past the American Legion bar as well. Albeit not... Well, yeah, I suppose it is kind of directly past it. It comes up on our left-hand side, doesn't it, over here? More quad bikes at the side of the road, which is something we should really be paying attention to. I'm not going to drive through Redford. Oh, and the Vets is there as well. Gosh, there's so much temptation, isn't there? There's so many places still to loot for like a map area, which is a fraction of the size that it's actually eventually going to be, if 14 kilometres squared or 14.5 kilometres squared. There's still quite a lot to it. There's still so much that we've not done in 20 episodes. Let alone speaking about all the houses that are left to loot. And there's another, not survivor house there, but partially boarded house, which could be an interesting spot to go and have a look at. Very much aware that winter is on its way for us, which is why more solar power probably better, given the fact that winter there's going to be less anyway, less sunshine for us to benefit from for our silent solar energy. And look at us being all green. You know, we're here trying to save the planet, trying to save ourselves, all of that lovely stuff. Right here. And then there should be a left. And then we'll be able to get ourselves back home. Back home. And I'll be honest, I've not managed to do as much fortifying as I was sort of hoping, or sort of thinking we would do this episode. But it's a slow burn, isn't it, fortification? You've kind of got to get everything crafted and all of that sort of stuff first, and all the reinforced planks. So maybe we'll get some of those on the go. Oh, gosh. Almost losing control. Bit top heavy, I think, at the moment. Oh, God. I say this, and then I don't change course, do I? That bin is right in the middle of the road, which is not good. I know I put it there. But seriously. Right. Are we in? I think we're in. I probably shouldn't have done that, should I? There we go. The gate is closed. The mail truck is making its merry way on. Why? Why didn't I stop it before I got out? Come back! Come back! Our solar panels look as though they have survived, though, and that takes us up to 4 solar panels as we drive up our driveway / the runway. And it probably is that time already. It feels like it's flown by this episode. Thank you all so much for your support. Genuinely, really, really do appreciate it. So thank you. And we've got loads to do. There's all the fortifications still to do. There's all the crafting to do. There's all the storage creation to do, so that then I can do some apocalypse admin. But the priority at the start of the next episode has got to be to get all of these hooked up and to make sure that we've got enough in the utility cabinet to ensure that everything is looked after. Then we'll create storage. Loads to do. Thank you for watching. Please do like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, comment down below with any of your tips, any of your thoughts, anything that I should be working on. There's so much to do. It's all ahead of us. I'll catch you on Wednesday for another Vane video, and on Monday for another Let's Play episode. Catch you later.